Okay.
It's a funny thing because, you know, I tell myself I want the truth above all else. And I moved myself, I moved into a place of my own, which is lovely. And so I don't have a lot to do except to just try and connect with the truth of what I am. And yet I find that in those moments when I seem to start connecting with the silence, um, I become afraid and I run off and distract myself with things.
Mhm. So maybe I could say something about trying to connect with the silence, because the silence is already there. It's like the space. The space is already there, and then the tree appears in the space, or the room appears in the space. The space is already there. It's the same thing with silence. Silence or stillness is already there. It's our inherent nature. It's already there. And whatever appears in that space, in the space of silence, in the stillness of awareness, the stillness of consciousness. So the trying to connect with the silence or with the stillness is more like a sort of a being quiet. It's a non-movement rather than a movement. It's a it's a it's a falling back rather than a moving forward. Uh, so so you don't have to burden yourself with doing something and doing it right. Rather, as events appear to you, as feelings or thoughts or emotions or perceptions appear to you, face them or explore facing them with your stillness, with your listening. Face them with your presence, with your spaciousness, rather than trying to do something and failing or succeeding at it. You see, it's always scary when we are on a certain task and we wonder whether we're doing the task right, whether we are failing or succeeding. You follow? So the fear that you might experience might have to do with whether you are succeeding or failing at doing something, and of course doing it right or not doing it right. So the connecting with the presence or connecting with the stillness or with the spaciousness is a non-doing. You cannot succeed or fail about non-doing because there is nothing you're doing. Or you can say that I'm doing non-doing. you're just sort of allowing whatever is arising its complete freedom. Even if it's something that's arising in your body, or maybe in particular when it's a feeling arising in your body, to give it its complete freedom. Allow it the entire space. And not to get preoccupied about trying to fix it or about trying to feel in a certain way. When you're trying to feel in a certain way, you're burdening yourself, and you're struggling with what is arising, because what is arising might be different from what you expect it to be, or might not be what you want. So you're constantly in some sort of dispute with what is arising, except when whatever is arising meets your expectation, which is, as you might notice, very rare. So it's much wiser to sort of allow whatever is arising to arise, and rather than to enjoy what is out there, what is in your space, enjoy your presence, enjoy your beingness. Uh, I know that's not the common trend. The common trend is that we enjoy something, we enjoy an object, we enjoy a trip, we enjoy a relationship, we enjoy a beautiful car, we enjoy an object. But what I'm pointing at, Linda, is to enjoy the objectless presence. The objectless presence is joy itself. It is already inherently joyful. So rather than trying to do something and getting your happiness out of your succeeding or failing at your action, just relax in your presence.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it's there. Yeah, I know the presence is there. I just, I suppose I'm trying to figure out what the presence is and trying to feel it, and that's not the presence. All that trying takes me away from that.
Well,
I don't know what the presence is. I don't know.
Well, okay, right now, Linda, you hear these words, right?
Yeah.
So there is something, there is a hearing, there is something that perceives as perception. It's already there, right? And this, whatever we're referring to as presence or awareness that hears these words, is actually you. You're hearing these words, right?
You, the presence, that's what you're saying.
It's you. I mean, if I tell you, Linda, you're hearing these words, you're going to say, yeah, I am. Whatever this you is it is whatever is hearing these words. That, yes, is what I'm referring to as presence or awareness or consciousness or beingness. It's already there. Why do you need to try to figure what it is? It's you. Do you need to figure you? It's you. You, whatever it is that hears these words, is you. You agree with that? That it's you who hears these words?
No, because what if I was deaf and I wouldn't hear the words?
Well, if you were deaf, you would hear whatever deaf people hear.
Oh, I would see the sign language.
Yeah, you would.
And whatever is aware of that.
I don't know the deaf experience, but whatever it is, it would be that experience. You would be experiencing that experience. Maybe if it's a hum or no hum, or maybe then your sight takes over your if there is no hearing, there are other senses operating. But the point that I'm making is not via which medium are you hearing these words. Forget about hearing. We could say you're perceiving this perception. Yes? You're perceiving this. Before even the thought arises that I'm perceiving this perception with my ears or with my eyes or with my with my senses, there is an undeniable fact that you're perceiving this perception.
Right, yeah. I suppose I'm just a bit disappointed, basically, with the presence because uh, um, I'm finding the presence very disappointing because, like you say, yeah, I am aware. I'm aware of things, but I don't really feel very joyful about them, and I'm supposed to feel joyful because God is supposed to be joy and love.
Well, how can you be joyful when you have conditions? As soon as you have any condition, your joy can only be delivered when that condition is met.
Yeah, so they're made up
So,
conditions that
so
I've
when
made up.
if that condition is met 10% of the time, you are joyful 10% of the time, but the remaining 90% of the time, you're not. So my
Yeah,
question to you is, how can you be joyful when you have a condition about how things should be?
I can't. Yeah,
Well,
right.
it's a self-imposed limitation. Of course, you are free to do that, but I'm just sharing with you that,
Yeah,
once you impose upon yourself this condition that, oh well, it's got to feel this way, I have to feel this way or that way, what you have done is placed a condition upon your experience, and therefore you have taken the inherent happiness, inherent freedom out of your experience, and you have imposed a limited freedom upon your experience. You've told yourself, I will be happy if I am feeling this way and not that way.
yeah. Basically, that's what I've done. Yeah,
Well, you are free to do that, but
yeah,
you also will suffer, will have the consequences of your choice.
yeah.
You follow?
Yeah, that's right. I don't like
So
it. I don't like my choice.
yeah, so you just contemplate that. Contemplate that habitually you're expecting a certain experience. You wake up and you're expecting to have a certain type of day. And right there, right from your waking up, you've imposed a condition upon
Yeah.
yourself. Nobody has imposed it upon you. You've imposed a condition upon yourself.
Mm,
Because you've imposed this condition upon yourself, your experience is limited by the condition that you have imposed.
yeah.
When you are expecting your experience to have a certain shape or to have a certain form, you have imposed a condition and therefore a limitation upon your innate freedom.
Mm,
And we have a tendency to do that because we remember, in other words, there is a thought that arises about some past memory, some past experience that we have identified as being a joyful experience. And so we bring that memory into this present this present perception right now, this present experience right now. And we say, wait a minute, what I'm experiencing right now is not like what I experienced last week when I was at the beach, laying on the beach and watching the sunset and listening to the seagulls. But you see, whenever whenever you're bringing a certain condition from the past or any future projection onto your present experience, you're imposing a limitation.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
like
can see.
what you, you already what you are, what you truly are, this very moment, without imposing any past or future thought or condition upon your experience, is free. It's freedom itself. You don't need to realize freedom. You don't need to go out of your way to experience freedom. Simply notice that whenever you impose a condition upon your experience, you are limiting your freedom. And therefore, you're limiting your happiness. Because freedom and happiness come hand in hand. Freedom is the core, the inherent soul of happiness.
Oh, yeah. Mm. I can see that because when I wake up in the morning, every morning when I wake up, I go out and I have a smoke and a coffee and I sit there and I have all these thoughts that aren't peaceful, and I think, no, this isn't how I'm supposed to be. And it's like a struggle every morning. Like I have to get rid of all the negative thoughts. It's like a bit of a, yeah. It's but I've already judged straight away.
Well, Linda, notice that whatever thought arises,
Mm,
whatever shape it has, the thought arises in the borderless presence of awareness.
mm,
In other words, there is ample space for whatever thought that arises to arise. Notice, rather than noticing the thought and what the thought does, notice the inherent openness, the inherent freedom in which the thought arises.
yeah.
Just continue to notice the space in which the thought arises rather than noticing the thought itself. It's not a problem to notice the thought. I'm not saying try to erase the thought, not at all. What I'm saying is notice that there is something else besides the thought on board. And that there is the presence, there is the awareness, there is the borderless awareness that is already there. Thought A can appear in it and dissolve. Thought B appears in it and dissolves. Then thought C, and so on. Thoughts, sensations, perceptions arise in the already inherent borderless presence, which is peace itself, that you are.
Mm, yeah.
Even,
Everything arrives. Yeah.
even a self-judgment thought arises in that same space. But you can also notice the following, Linda. Whenever a thought arises that assumes that you are a person, that you are a woman, a man, beautiful, ugly, old, young, tall, short, whatever. Whenever there is a thought that arises that assumes that you are a limited consciousness, a limited person, that thought is unhappy. Just simply notice that. I'm not talking about trying to get rid of the thought or trying um, to uproot those thoughts, just simply to notice that whenever there is an I thought there is unhappiness with it. You will also notice that the I thought comes hand in hand with the him or her, me and the other. Oh, why did he do that to me? Why didn't she call me when she promised she would? Why didn't I get the apartment that I wanted? Why didn't uh, didn't they uh, smile at me when I walked into the room, etc. Is this the I thought and the me and them is the same. It's the same family of thoughts. These thoughts assume that the open, aware presence, the borderless presence of consciousness, is a person. You
Mm.
follow?
Yeah, yeah. Mm.
So simply notice. Whenever, with that like effort, it's just out of interest, out of love, out of interest. You see, because you're interested in learning about yourself. You're interested in discovering how this whole uh, this whole panorama occurs, how it unfolds. Out of interest is very, very beautiful because you're interested.
Okay, yeah. Mm. Yeah. Thanks, Magdi.
Okay.
Yeah, excellent.
Okay, beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any questions, anyone? Okay, well, if there are no questions, thank you very much. Nice to see you. Good to see you, Linda, Dolores. Very lovely. Uh, we will. I will schedule another hangout next week.
Thank
Namaste.
you.
Okay, see you.
Yeah.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Okay.